What's happening, people? We're back for another show with you. We are here for a preview show for the weekend, which, to be fair, is going to be a massive weekend for a few clubs. So on this panel, obviously, I'm the Arsenal fan for tonight, but we do have Arsenal fan Babs going to be joining us in a few minutes, so don't worry. He will be with us. I thought I'd bring a Spurs fan on tonight to talk about Villa Spurs. Deji, what are you saying, bro? Welcome to the channel.
Dan, thank you, man. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for the invite. Do you know what I mean? I know there's bare Villa fans out there shaking their bums violently for their club. But the truth of the matter is, I'm not going to lie. If we had our full team, we would be slapping up Aston Villa this weekend. The fact that we've got about 13 man out is shocking. I would have liked
about your squad.
Villa with a full squad, but it is what it is. We're just trying to manage. If Villa don't beat Spurs tomorrow, on Sunday, then they're a dusty team. It's as simple as that.
Pressure's on, man. Pressure's on. Rom's in the house. Big game for you this weekend, bro. How are you, brother?
I'm good. Davey on the channel. Big up, Dan, for having me. Bro, one of the best Arsenal content creators out there, man. But I'm good. I'm just happy that the international football's done. Because like I was saying to you off stream, all these accountants and all of a sudden us football fans just turn into accountants about these charges. It's annoying. I just want to speak about the football, man. But yeah, big up. Happy to be here. Loads of big games this weekend. And yeah, let's strap it up, man.
Yeah, man. Listen, the international break does that. A lot of sources and rumors come out and they're bored. So they have to make up stuff about numbers.
Literally.
Yeah, people worried, man. It's mad. Dap's in the house. Well, I say in the house. You're in a Premier Inn hotel, bro. The Wi-Fi has been mad, moving mad. But you're here.
Why you bait me up like that? Why you... Can you hear me all right, yeah?
Oh, listen. I can hear you, bro. Can you hear us?
Okay, cool. I can hear you all good. And you know what? Talking about the charges and everything, great news has come out today. It's given me something to look forward to. Breaking news, Manchester City are going to win the first division in the Championship because Pep is staying. More likely to stay if we get relegated. So we are literally going to complete English football. We're going to dominate not just the Premier League, but every single league that we happen to drop into. So
come on, man.
Yeah, Pep Guardiola.
Even if you're found guilty, I don't think they're going to relegate you either, to be fair.
It's funny, though, isn't it? It's just funny.
It's funny. It is funny, but I don't know.
It's not funny. By the way, the charges aren't funny, but the way international break has gone, and it's like the Everton thing, and then the biggest small club in the world trends because of Everton, and then I see Tottenham. Oh, we might. Do you know what? Let's create news about taking some trophies off the trophy list team. That's fucking mad, right? And then they even, I saw one. They started bringing up Liverpool, talking about Liverpool.
When I go back to when we took your,
you've already been charged.
Exactly.
But you've already been charged for it, bro. You got charged and paid your fine for that years ago.
Yeah.
Where people are going, oh, Liverpool might be invested. It's just everyone's heads are gone, man. Like because the transfer window's not here, so they can't talk about transfers. So they're like, well, what do we talk about? I don't know. Let's talk about fucking charges or whatever. Like nothing's changed. 115 charges, and
I've always said, bro, international break. You have to take everything with a pinch of salt. People aren't right. They're not meant. Football's a big part of our lives. They're just trying to think of anything that they say. What comes?
No, it's mad, bro. I've heard in the 2-week international break, or however long it's been. I've heard Tony's coming to Arsenal, then he's not. Zubimendi's coming to Arsenal, he's too expensive. We're going for Douglas Luiz, but no, he's not coming now. Timber's back in 2 weeks. No, actually, he's not back for the whole season. Havertz is now a left back. We've got Jesus saying he can't score goals. I'm just done. I
saw Calvin Phillips at Arsenal this morning.
Don't, man.
The football's back coming up now.
They're just bored, man. They're bored. They need football back bad, just like we do. That's what it is. Yeah. And we are lucky this weekend that it is back. Daps, I'm going to come to you, man, because this one is huge. Probably the biggest fixture that has been in the last 5 years. I think a lot of people would agree with that one. I want to go straight into it, Daps, in terms of your team news, because there's a lot of debate about whether Doku's going to start this one, Grealish going to start, where's Foden going to play. So talk me through your 1 to 11, bro.
What, mine personally?
Yeah, go on. And then the one you think it will be. And then one you think it will be as well.
I think one of the things that we I think gives us an advantage is that this time last season, Klopp would have gone, right, so they're going to play Grealish on the left, and Grealish is going to do what he does, which is, drag players out of position, then he'll cut back inside and lay the ball off to Gundogan or Rodri or Bernardo Silva, right? It's what We did, right? It worked because Grealish is that good at keeping the ball or drawing a foul. But the advantage we have this year is if Grealish plays, then yes, he might play like that. So Klopp's like, okay, well, we need to be ready for that. But then if Grealish does play, we might also play the way we saw him play against Man United, which was where he was doing a very similar thing, starting out wide, getting the ball, then cutting inside. But instead of laying the ball off, Bernardo Silva was kind of, instead of staying in the middle of the pitch, he was overlapping and going down the wing, right? And then Grealish was going, now we're not going inside this time, we're going outside. So Klopp has to be aware now that, oh, hold on a minute. But then the other thing is, alternatively, you might just play Doku, and then Doku might just go at him. So I think we've got an extra tool there. Now, for me, however good Doku has been, and I think Doku's unreal, this game in particular, I think we have to start Grealish, and for multiple reasons. One, the fact that Klopp won't quite know how he's going to play. Two, we haven't got Stones or Kovacic, who, for me, can sit next to Rodri, and it gives that balance, right? It brings the best out of Rodri as well. Without those two, we have to look at the system that worked last season. The system that worked last season had Stones inverting, sitting next to Rodri. It had Grealish, who knows the system, is very good at maintaining the ball. It had Gundogan, great maintaining the ball and knows the system. Had De Bruyne, great maintaining the ball, knows the system. All of a sudden, we're looking at a completely different midfield, right? And we have to, against a team like Liverpool, that if we do give them the ball, can make it count, we have to make sure we keep hold of the ball. So there's that reason as well. But then the most important one is Mo Salah. And we have to be able to double up on him. Grealish can double up. Grealish has had good games against Liverpool with City. Doku's not there yet. And I think against Chelsea, the fact we didn't have Kovacic, we didn't have Stones, we didn't have Grealish on the pitch, it allowed Chelsea to play their game and us get drawn into playing their game, kind of tit for tat. And this is Liverpool. If Chelsea put four past us, I know it's different because it's at home, but if Chelsea can put four past us, then Liverpool could be. I think the key with this game is we have to respect Liverpool and who they are, because then this isn't Bournemouth at home. Look, our record at home is sensational, but so for me, I would. And Akanji, by the way, inverting and sitting next to Rodri, it don't work for me. I'm sorry, but I'd have him as a centre back. I don't have him trying to do the Stones role. It took Stones years to learn how to do that role. You can't kind of shove a £14 million defender who's had one season in the Premier League and got used to the system really well, but gone, do you know what? Now we want you to do what John Stones does. It just, for me, no. So I'd go Ederson, Walker, Akanji. Ederson, Walker, and then Akanji, Diaz probably in the middle, and then I would go with Vardy on the left. Ake's just come back from an injury. Then in midfield, I would have Rodri. I would have Rico Lewis, because he knows how to play that system. I'm kind of bored with trying to play other people there. Then Bernardo Silva, because all three of them defensively are solid. And then I'd have Grealish, Haaland, and I would have Foden in this game because Alvarez has travelled back, might be a little bit tired, and also Foden always turns up against Liverpool. So, and then the good thing with that is that we've got Doku and Alvarez off the bench if need be. Whereas if we start with Doku, Grealish off the bench isn't an impact player. He's a type of player that you can come on to kind of hold it out. So, yeah, there we go.
Do you know what's mad, right, Rob? Just quickly, sorry, because I'll bring you in next, right? If somebody asked me yesterday, oh, Dan, who do you think is going to win the league? And I said Man City, right? And if I could clip anything up, I would clip that up right there of what Daps has said as to why Man City are going to win the league. Because look at the options, man. It's scary. You're talking about not for this one, not for this one. Mate, they wouldn't. They'd walk into most of the first team in the whole of the 20 Premier League sides. It's mad. Roms, let me come to you. Go on, Roms. Go on.
I was quickly just going to say something to Dax. I was speaking to LB earlier, and I proposed this idea to him that Pep won't probably do this, so I'm asking, do you think this could work? Because Doku's very versatile. Do you think Grealish could play on the left, Doku on the right, obviously Haaland up top? I know Alvarez is in form, but like you said, South America, them contingent, it's a lot of travelling. Don't you think he could play Foden in the 10 and then with Bernardo and Rodri in the middle?
No. We played Rodri and Bernardo Silva against Chelsea like that.
Oh, yeah.
And for me, against Liverpool, we have to... Bernardo, I feel, look, Bernardo is an engine. He can get back forward, but he needs to be given a free role, knowing that Rodri and Rico are behind him. The other thing is Rico Lewis is really good going forward, but the main thing for me is I don't want to see. I don't think I will, but I don't want to see. I'm going to say his name wrong now. I'm going to say Navas, and it's not Navas. I always call him Navas. Nunes, sorry. I don't want to see Nunes yet because I think Nunes is going to take a minute to settle into this City team. I think, and yeah, it's just what you said there about Bernardo and Rodri. On paper, it sounds banging, but it hasn't worked like so far when I've seen it. Whereas Rico and Rodri has worked. So it's Liverpool. It's not a game for me that I think we should be trying things. It's not one, try things against Bournemouth at home, not Liverpool at home.
Do you think, Roms, like it's never a good time to play Man City, right? But we've just come back from international break. Add to that, they've been beatable this season. They've just conceded 4 goals and looked fairly vulnerable against Chelsea. They've been beaten by Arsenal and Wolves. Do you think this could be the time then Klopp finally beats Pep at the Etihad?
Look, my fan base have slated me all week for saying this, right? One thing I'll say is I don't think it will be a battering. Like, I've seen some City fans on Twitter whatnot saying, "Oh, we're gonna batter them like we normally do." It will be a tight game. We'll give them a game. But if you're asking me, do I think we will win? I think that's what makes it as well. The things with City and Liverpool, when you're going to each other's ground, you're just not confident because of the records. Yeah. They stand for itself. Yeah. City hardly beat us at Anfield. We hardly beat them at Etihad. I don't think Klopp has won there in the league.
Not in the league. He's won them in the Champions League and the Cup. Yeah.
But I think our last win was when he had Pellegrini. I don't think Klopp's won there in the league whilst what Guardiola's been managing. So I think it'll be a tight game, but I'm worried of a few individual battles, right?
Yeah.
That's what explaining. Big up, King Road. That's what explaining earlier. If Grealish starts, there's more control and he understands the defensive responsibility a bit more than Doku. He's been there, done that. I think he was your man of the match last season. Correct me if I'm wrong. That
scored against you as well. Yeah, scored against you as well.
Exactly.
And just to say quickly on that game last season, it was a 12:30 kickoff. First game back after the international break.
You had to say that, innit? But I think if Grealish starts, he's more defensively responsible than Doku. But then if Doku starts, Trent can't invert how he wants to invert because he'll just have that free left flank. So that's a dilemma in itself. And Trent has been, rivals will kind of go off past season and whatnot. This season, he has been good defensively. And one of the highlight games is the Brighton game. He locked up Matoma the minute Trent came off. Brighton started to look a bit more comfortable and they're getting success down that side. So Trent this season defensively, I know we all know predominantly he's not a good defender, but he's played well this season. But for me, it's the other flank now, and this is what's dangerous. I think City could hurt us either flank. Because Tsimikas, I don't rate him. I don't care if he's won everything with us. I know he's big in the dressing room, scored the winning goal against Chelsea in the final, and that, and he's big in the dressing room. Pause. But I don't rate Tsimikas, and I think defensively, he's worse than Trent. I've been saying this. I've never rated him from day one. It's not something it's not a recency bias thing. But now he's getting the run in the team. You're actually seeing him for what he really is, and then you're going to have either Alvarez or Foden that side, which I think is going to give him trouble. But another one is McAllister. I think this could be a long game for McAllister if he starts in the 6. Me personally, I wouldn't start him, but Klopp is. And even today, his comments in the presser, I think he's really good in the 6 role.
Who would you play there then?
Me personally, Curtis Jones, because in pre-season, Klopp flirted with that idea, and I know pre-season is lesser teams, etc., but he did well. And up until his injury, our first 3 or 4 games, he was playing there, and he did really well. Curtis Jones, our best midfielder up until he got injured. Better than Szoboszlai, better than Gravenberch and all these players. So I would actually go back to that. He's played in a lot of games versus City. He understands what the match means. And I'd actually play Gravenberch and Szoboszlai.
Is he a Scouser? Curtis Jones is a Scouser.
Jones is a Scouser, yeah.
Yeah, so it means something to him.
Exactly. And I would play them 3 in the middle. For me, McAllister, I don't know what it is about these current crop of South Americans like Enzo and McAllister. You normally associate South Americans being quite tenacious and they get around the pitch and that. But Enzo and McAllister, they're very good technically, but they're quite what's the word? They're not that industrious. They don't get about how you'd like them to. And so many games this season, McAllister's by himself, and we've just looked very vulnerable on the counter. So I would play Jones, and Jones is one of our best pressers. But he is one of our best pressers from the midfield. So for me, I'm playing Jones, McAllister, and Sabozza. Some people might agree with that, and I do rate McAllister. By the way, I do rate McAllister.
I've said about McAllister, the thing that you've got, and by the way, anything we say, football is a mad thing. I've said things before the Arsenal game, I've said things before the Chelsea game, and then football goes and humbles me, right? We don't know what's going to happen, but usually when you come to the Etihad, City have a lot of possession. So if you're a 6, you're going to spend a lot of time chasing the ball, right? In fact, if you're any player on the pitch, really and truly, and McAllister, I think, especially, did he play for Argentina?
Yeah, played very well against Brazil, apparently. Yeah.
So he's travelled back. So he's played, he's travelled back, and then he's going to have, I reckon by the 65th minute, 70th minute, right, he's going to be blowing because he's going to be chasing that ball left to right, probably having to help cover Trent because, look, when I look at this, I think whether Haaland has a good game or not, Van Dijk will be occupied by Haaland. Yeah, he has to be. It's that simple. He can't be given space. So then it's down to, okay, who's going to then pick up Doku? Who's going to pick up Runza Bernardo? Who's going to pick up, whether it be Foden, Alvarez? And I think that's one question in itself. Is Matip got the legs now, or will it be Konate? Konate, for me, has got a card in him. So I'll be happy with whoever it is on that side. And then I just think Trent could end up getting drawn back. I agree with you. We need to try and pin Trent back. I want to see Trent as a defender tomorrow. If not for the fact that I think he's not that good defensively, you don't want Trent to be on the ball. So the best way to stop someone being on the ball is make them have to defend more. Then they can't influence the game going forward. So I think this is why this game's such a good game, because it's the two best managers in the league, and it's how they counteract each other in the opening. It's working out in the opening 10-15 minutes how the other team's playing, and then how quickly we can adapt to deal with that. And look, this is, I know it's big for Liverpool, because I think if Liverpool don't win this, Liverpool's fans will be saying, yeah, we're not there, we're not ready this season, we need another season, right? But if Liverpool do win it, then they've gained 3 points on us, and then we have to go to Anfield knowing we must win there. So I think for City, this is just as big as well. And we know that a draw for both of us. So who've Arsenal got?
We got Brentford away, man. And do you know why it's more important for Liverpool for me? Because Liverpool win this game and they're serious. When they lose it, everyone will say they're not serious. That's how crazy it is.
Yeah.
Whereas if City lose it, they'll be like, oh, well, they'll still win the league. Do you know what I mean? It's mad.
I see.
Yeah, but then I always look longer, and I think we have to go to people will say that, but if we lose this, I'm going, okay, we've still got to go to Anfield. So we've just dropped 3 points. Then potentially at the business end of the season, we have to go Anfield, and that's another potential 3 points drop. So for me personally, if we lose it, I'm thinking, fucking hell, that's going to be 6 points potentially dropped to a title rival. That's a big deal. Arsenal know that from last season as well.
Do you know what it's because obviously I see people in the comments just saying, modern day football fans, just back your club no matter what, but you have to be objective, you have to be honest about the game. Yeah. And I predict us to win pretty much every game this season. I know we're very good this season, but come on, you have to get real. This is Man City away, a ground we have not won at in 8 years. So if you're a fan that's an optimist and you think, you know what, we're going to get a result, be confident, from back the team. That's obviously, we're all entitled to our opinions. You can feel like that, but I know Man City at the Etihad, and that's to remind me, I can't remember the last time you lot even lost at this ground. And I've come into this game saying, I don't think they'll decimate us. I don't think they're going to batter us in this game at all. I think it's going to be a really close game. And I do think we're going to hurt them on the counter-attack. They're going to dominate the ball. I know now we don't have the Hendersons, the Fabinos last season. We actually got players that have good ball retention and are very industrious. But I just don't think, I can't see us. The most I think we'll get is, obviously, we're going to get into predictions, but I know who we're facing. I know the ground we're at, and there's a reason we've not won here in so long with arguably better teams. So I just have to be honest about how I think the game's going to go. But one thing I will say, Fox, as well, they're definitely not going to like me for this one, this opinion. But you see our defence, right? Van Dijk has been excellent this season. I'll say him and Saliba probably been, and Van der Ven, Deji, I won't forget you as well, but Van der Ven, Saliba, and Van Dijk, for me, have been probably the best three centres in the league, right? He won't get back to them peak levels of like 2017 to 2020 when he was the best in the world, but he's got back to a very good level. So that's the Van Dijk praise. But our fans have this notion where, you know, the stat, Liverpool and Arsenal have conceded the least goals. So we're the best defence in the league. We've conceded an abundance of chances against lesser teams than City, but Alisson Becker, this is one thing I'll say, best keeper in the world. He has got us out of jail time after time. I see Billy kind of look.
That's what the awards say.
I know.
Rums. Does your keeper back his country's fans and punch a copper though?
Yeah, Billy, your keeper does, but for me,
I'm gonna milk that for a year.
It's mainly been because of Alisson, right? And I feel against City, we've not played a team of the quality that Man City have, and I feel like the volume of chances are going to be even greater this game, and I think we could get found out. That's just honestly how I feel about this game, because in the other team, say that again.
What are you doing?
What do you mean? What am I doing?
I just feel like your hair just licking Man City's butt tonight.
I'm being honest. I know who we're up against, and I know the ground. Deadly. If this is Anfield, you'll hear completely different me because we're at home. I'm confident against these at Anfield, but Deadly, you need to. The stats are relevant in this game. We've not won there for 8 years. I don't understand people just
this season. Automatically back this season, though, you lot have been playing decent football. And in fact, from the football that I've seen Liverpool play, if there's going to be any team that can go toe-to-toe with Man City, it's you guys. So you got to give your team a little bit of respect. I mean, even Daps came out and said it himself. He said, look, if Chelsea, who's got a dusty attack, could get 4 goals against City, how much more your club? How much more your club, mate? That's what I'm saying, Rom. So I hear you, respect them. But Liverpool, give them a little bit more credit. Klopp has been in the game.
In my score prediction,
Man City are there to be taken this season, you know, bro. I know they've got a big.
Oh, don't worry, bro. You can try. Don't worry. You can try that next week, bro. That's your time will come next week. Don't worry.
Deadly. In my score prediction, you'll see that I think this game will be close, and we will get success. You'll see in my score prediction what I think of this game, but I know who we're up against, and I know you can mention the Chelsea game. But you have to contextualize things here. They're at the Etihad. They've not lost I can't remember the last time they lost the game there. We have to get real here. We have to get real.
What is the... Well, okay, cool. I mean, for me, if you had an injury list as long as Spurs is one, I would understand. But you're gonna have a decent opportunity. You got your boys out there, Diaz, Salah. You know, the man them are there. I think it will be a tight game. I think it will be a 2-2 draw. I think you'd be pleasantly surprised by Liverpool tomorrow, mate. I think you'd be pleasantly surprised.
Listen,
hold on. Hey, hold on. Dan, did you just hear that? Deji, have you started saying mate now?
Mate, I'm dropping all sorts. I don't even know what I'm saying right now.
Maybe
all
I'm hearing is your manager.
All I've heard for the past 23 minutes is Rom's standing up in his white vest and black boxer shorts with a white flag. Just like, you know, the game's over already. No, we're not having that, man. Liverpool's a lot better than previous year. They've come back. Jurgen Klopp's got a little system going on. Defensively, you guys are looking saying, yeah, there's weaknesses on both sides. But I think Liverpool, this is probably the right time for Liverpool to be playing City right about now, because I still don't think City has started to fully cook. The Chelsea game was the giveaway. So this is the right time, unlike my club, which we will get to. And I'll talk about. But I think, Roms, you got.
I can't wait to play you next week.
Have a little bit more chest for your club, my bro. You got to have a little bit more chest.
Listen, I feel where both of you are coming from there. I feel definitely Rom should be a lot more confident than he is. But I understand when you go to a fixture and it's a bogey ground and it's a horrible fixture to play, you just don't have that confidence going into it. I happen to think Man City will win, but I don't think it'll be a hammering. I think it will be.
Same.
Yeah, I think it'll be 2-1 City. I think Liverpool will score, but I think Man City will win the game. Babs, let's come to you, bro. Welcome to the show, my brother. Hope you're well. Where do you see this one going? And what do you want as a Gooner? What do you want in this fixture is my question to you as well.
I'd probably want a City defeat because I think they're bigger challenges than Liverpool this season in terms of sustainability. I feel Liverpool can definitely fight for a title, but in terms of the defence they have, how can he sustain it towards the end of the season? You know, I think Arsenal and Liverpool are actually opposites. One team's all attack, one team's all defence. And I think that's why Arteta thinks to win a title, he's prioritising defence first. So I think Liverpool win would be nice. And actually, I give them a very good chance in this game. I know City are very good at home, but I think with Liverpool's counter-attacking threat, the speed in behind, the decisive attackers, I think there's got a chance there. I mean, if Chelsea's attackers with Jackson were causing them issues, you know, I don't see why the likes of Salah can't cause even more. And Liverpool are confident, you know, they've won in quite a few games, they're in good form, and they realise that if they can win this game, it'd be quite a statement. So, you know, I'm actually going to probably bet Liverpool for this game.
I'll go on in predictions. What are you saying?
It'll be close, of course, but I'm saying a high-scoring 3-2.
Okay, Billy?
Do you know there's this narrative that Liverpool are in good form? Because they won the last game before international break and City drew with Chelsea. Right? So that's I'm mad. I watched the media do it. The minute the international break started, there was this narrative that Liverpool were in great form and that City weren't. Because we drew away to Chelsea 4-4. Liverpool won at home to Brentford 2-0. But form is more than one game. You go before that, Liverpool lost to Toulouse and drew to Luton away. So actually, and before that, City won against in the Champions League against Young Boys, and we won against was it Bournemouth 6-1. So this form thing, it's something the media created. That Liverpool's form really is not that great, especially if you look away from home. The last away game was against Luton, where they were on the rocks. To be frank with you, if Luton had probably a striker of even the Chelsea boys who's got a hat trick against, what's his name? If Luton had a striker of that quality, yeah, Jackson, thank you. I think if Luton would have a striker of that quality, they could have put Liverpool to the sword. But I don't know.
You got to ignore the media though. They're saying United are the most formed team.
Oh, I do.
That's not true.
Yeah. Oh, that's even better. That's even better. No, I think the key for me is going to be the lack of a six, and I think that what Bav said is spot on about Arsenal and Liverpool. I think Arsenal have got the best defence. Well, currently this season, I don't know statistically, but if I'm doing an eye test, Arsenal's defence has looked like the best defence this season, and there's no coincidence that Rice has been sat in front of them. And I think as long as Arsenal keep Rice fit, that will be the difference between Arsenal and Liverpool this season. Because if you can go back and tell me a Premier League team that won a Premier League without a six of a very high standard, I don't know who it is, to be fair. And I think that's Liverpool's issue. Without six,
that's why I think that we need to keep up till about the January window. And if we invest in a six, that's when I think we'll push anyone all the way. Honestly, I think we just need to get to the window and be within there and thereabouts. If you lot on Arsenal, then if we get six, we can go all the way.
I think Roms, you're a six and another centre half away from title challenge for sure, man. Yeah. Because for me, I know people talk about your centre halves. Van Dijk, you're correct, but alongside him, I don't see a reliable figure that can stay fit enough that he's going to definitely be okay if Van Dijk does go out, because he can't play 40 games a year anymore. So for me, you need a centre half and a defensive and a proper DM, a six. And I think Liverpool will be all right. And I still think we'll be fine. I think you'll go for a title push already, but I just feel like you might fall short without those two positions, man. Let's quickly do some predictions with people I haven't asked, and then we'll move to Villa Spurs. Billy, what are you going for this one, mate? Man City, Liverpool?
I just can't look past Man City, to be honest with you. Home form speaks for itself as well. Both teams are always up for this game, aren't they? The fans are always up for this game. And I do think for games like this, home form is such a massive thing. And so I do think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I can see why people fancy Liverpool as well. But I'll go 3-2 the other way. 3-2 Man City.
Interesting, man. Interesting. Yeah, this one's going to be a madness. I can't lie. I do feel like it's going to be a great game, and I'm the one looking forward to it, man. Who's not giving their prediction? That's everyone, isn't it? Roms, have you? Roms?
No, I haven't. Same as Billy. I've said it all week. I've said it on most of the channels I've been on. I think 3-2 City. It won't be no battering like a 4-1 or 5-1. I do rate us enough to know it won't be a landslide, but I think City nick it, and to make it more painful, I think they nick it quite late. I think we'll hold them to a draw for quite a lot of the game, and I think they nick it. But we'll give them a game, but I think City might have a bit too much for us.
Anyway, let me just publicly declare that I can see past what my brother can see. I can see a Liverpool win. I'm going with Babs. I'm going 2-1 Liverpool. Yeah, make sure you clip it. Everyone, do what you do, and let's bring it back. But I'm going 2-1 Liverpool straight up.
I pray you're all right. I pray you and Babs all right. Honestly, I pray.
Listen, I would take a draw, but if I had to pick one to win, it'd obviously be Liverpool. Just to see, because I fear City more. But listen, I think it's going to be a cracking game to watch. And isn't it weird that it's 12:30, man? That's just a weird time for a fixture.
Same as last year, bro. Same as last year as well. It's to do with the thing is so I know it gets spread by the media and rival fans and whatever that City and Liverpool. And by the way, I'm not meaning online or anything. I'm meaning because this is the reason why it's a 12:30 kickoff. That there's a lot of hostility between the two clubs, and I know it doesn't get reported, but if you ever go to a City Liverpool game, it goes off at every single game. It's been like that. I'm not saying historically it's been like that. Historically, Manx and Scousers do not like one another, right? It's simple as that. Listen. My sister married a Scouser. My dad wouldn't let him in the house. It was that like I'm not joking, bro. Like she wouldn't until they're married. He wouldn't let him in the house. And because of that, that's why it's a 12:30 kickoff, because they're thinking, you know what? And remember, it's local, so Liverpool can get into the city early doors, have a drink, and they're just thinking, nah. And the fact is, of course, as well, if Liverpool are in Manchester, then you know what? United are going to any United fans that aren't going to. Oh, I've just realised United are playing Everton, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. The next day
they're swapping. So I would imagine it's all to do with that. So there you go. United fans will be about in the city as well, and it's just get Liverpool in and out as quickly as possible.
Yeah, trying to prevent any trouble. Makes sense, man. Makes sense. Listen, people, there's 250 of you in here. Make sure you smash a like. Make sure you follow all of these man them, and they'll put out amazing content as well. So make sure you do that, please. That'd be amazing. Let's move to you, Deji. Big game for Spurs, big game for Villa, big game for the weekend. Two teams that have impressed, I would say, this season, and maybe unexpectedly so in certain areas of Spurs and Villa's game. A lot of injuries, bruv. I can't lie. A lot of suspensions. Talk to me through them, because there's so many. I can't really keep up with what's going on with Spurs right now. So what are you expecting tomorrow in terms of the team, bruv?
Yeah, bro. I mean, for me, it's a series of unfortunate events. And this is why I hate Chelsea, because they just bring badness to my team and my club. The truth of the matter is we can't even put out a credible and decent team tomorrow. It's almost a bit of a write-off, and any Villa fan coming out here shaking their bum violently for playing below a 30% Tottenham Hotspur side should be ashamed of themselves, in my personal opinion. But
you should be ashamed of that, Deji. You should be ashamed of that, Deji. You're making excuses already.
Bruv, the truth is, we ain't got nobody. This is not a team that we can put out and go to war with. Let's just be real. We are.
Did we not? But we told you this, bro. We told you this when you thought you were in the title race.
Bruv, we've been clipped by our wings on our feet. No one could have predicted the amount of injuries that we were going to have in one go. I didn't mind if it was staggered, but man, we just went from hero to zero overnight. But the team lineup for Spurs would be
violins in the chat.
Vicario in goal.
Violins in the chat, people. Spam it with the violins.
Hey, it is football you can see with your eyes. Vicario in goal. We're going to have Udogie's come back, luckily, so we'll have him left back. It will be Ben Davies and Eric Dyer, because Phillips got himself injured on the under-18s England duty. I was calling for Phillips to come in because we need pace in that back line, and he bloody went and got injured. We've got Pedro Porro at right back. He's actually had a decent season. Udogie's had a decent season. Ben Davies and Eric Dyer, well, I'd rather just, leave this earth. And then in the midfield, there's no Basuma, because Basuma is serving a one-match ban. And Pape Sarr, who's been sourcing Tottenham's version of Declan Rice, not saying he is Declan Rice, but he's our version, is bloody 50-50 for the game tomorrow. If he plays, it'll be Pape Sarr, Bentancur, and Højbjerg. If Pape Sarr doesn't start, then we're looking at Bentancur, Højbjerg, and bloody Lo Celso. Crikey. Lo Celso potentially
one of Unai Emery's favourites.
This is a joke. And then we've got Brennan Johnson on the left, Kulusevski on the right, and Son up top.
So you're confident, bro?
Nah, bro. I mean, let's just keep it real. Aston Villa got pretty much a full team. I know you're gonna share the lineup in just a second, but to me, there's just too many men out, too many injuries. There's no Maddison. If Maddison was playing, I'd have a little bit more confidence because there's nothing your back line can do with that brother on the pitch. But Maddison ain't playing. Bentancur's really just come back from a long-term injury, did 86 minutes earlier midweek for Uruguay, but he's no Madders. And that Pape Sarr might not even play, meaning that we got to start Lo Celso. Oh, nah. Tottenham's about to get work this weekend. And for me, all I'm doing is all Tottenham can do is maybe not do what Orange did against Liverpool. We can't go for it at all. What we need to be doing is keeping the score down, keeping the goal difference at a respectable level so that when all the men them come back, we kick on and secure ourselves a top 5 finish. That's all we can do. But as for my club against Villa tomorrow, on Sunday, there's nothing we can do. It's long for us. Unlike Roms, I have a reason for my chest to be down. You get what I'm saying? There's no reason for your chest to be in the mud. Do you get me? That's it.
You see, you know the worst thing that can happen, Deji? If we win, I'll be happy and I'll say I was wrong. But I'm only going to be honest and say what I think.
No, you can't even say that. You can't even say
that. I can.
It's
not like a psychic. The thing is, modern day football fans get this twisted. They think your prediction is what you want to happen. Of course not. It's just what I predict. It's just what I predict. That's all.
Bruv, if Tottenham somehow, Billy, I'm saying this, I'm looking you right in your eyeballs. If Tottenham get a win against your club tomorrow, get out of our league.
We deserve it.
You know what I mean?
Listen,
get out.
Let's
find the reason. Let's find an FFP, get you 100 points and get out because it'll be a disgrace if you don't get a win against Spurs on Sunday.
Yeah, man, I feel your pain there, Deji. I can't sit there and say I feel too sorry for you. Daps has had to shoot off, bless him, because his phone is massively overheating because he's in a Premier Inn. So big up Daps for coming on. Let's come to you, Billy. Then I'm going to come to Babs and Roms to get their thoughts on this game. I'm looking forward to this one, man. I'm looking forward because I'm a gooner and I feel like Tottenham could be in for a spanking. But are Villa going to do that or are Villa going to struggle, bruv?
Look, there's no excuses, is there? We have to go out on Sunday and we have to come away with a win. It's the perfect opportunity to play Spurs. Deji's just gone through the amount of injuries, and I mean that lineup is just you're frothing at the mouth at that lineup. Anyone would be. The only thing is they are still dangerous in attack. I do like Kulusevski, Johnson, and Son are still dangerous, so we've got to be wary of that still. But in terms of the midfield and their defence, any team in the league would be looking at that and thinking we have to get something. And we do have to get something. And I believe we can get something. We have to believe that we can get something. Now, we've got Alex Moreno coming back. Jacob Ramsey's back training as well now. All of a sudden, the two big injuries that aren't season enders are coming back. Got 9 games in December, I think it is, alone. So they're coming back at the perfect time, and hopefully it's just a big booster to everyone. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to the game, which is not something I tend to do. I'm always a little bit nervous for games, but yeah, I'm looking forward to this one, which is probably dangerous as well because it'll probably come back and bite me on the arse as well. But yeah, we have to come away with 3 points, I think, and it like Deji said, it's embarrassing if we don't, to be honest.
Do you think, though, Bill, if you win this one, right? I mean, I was on a show the other night with LB on LB's channel talking about Villa and Champions League. If you actually win this one and you've got the right people around you dropping points, like we've just spoken about Liverpool City, we're going to talk about our game in a bit. We've got a difficult game away at Brentford. Are you looking at that thinking that's Tottenham, then Man City and Liverpool, they're going to drop points? This is a good weekend for Villa if you win. And you're looking at that Champions League position thinking, okay, Arsenal, Liverpool and City are favourites to get first, second, third in some order, but we could get fourth, no?
Absolutely, yeah. It's such a big opportunity, this game, for us as well, because you know it then puts us back into the top 4. We've not been there all season. We were there very briefly, I think, last season, but we're there then, and all of a sudden we've got Arsenal, Man City coming up in quick succession in December, at the beginning of December. The rest of December should be winnable games for us. So all of a sudden we're thinking, hang on, if we can get to January time and still be around 4th, 5th, 6th. Then got a January window to bring in more players if needs be. You know, we could really be up there, and it's just exciting times to be a Villa fan at the minute. In between as well, we've got Warsaw and Zrinski still to play, so we've still got European games, obviously. It's just now, hopefully, we could just keep everyone fit, because like I said, we've got so many games to play now. We just need to. We've been so lucky so far. I mean, we've had injuries. We've had Moreno and Ramsey out. Mings and Buendia obviously are both season enders pretty much. So we have been unlucky with injuries, but we've also been very lucky with injuries when you consider that Deji's going through a complete just overhaul of the squad, essentially. There's so many other teams, Newcastle as well. We have also been very lucky to keep that squad. If Watkins gets injured, if Diaby gets injured, if Luiz gets injured, Martinez gets injured, Konza, Torres, you know, we're then really, really struggling, like these teams are facing. So
and I'll be frothing at the mouth. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly, yeah, exactly. So we've been very lucky. So now it's just about trying to manage our way through December, keeping those players fit.
Billy, can I ask you a question? So I did a preview earlier this week with a couple of Villa fans, and they reckon that Douglas Luiz has a shout for being better than Declan Rice. I just want to get your opinion on that, because, you know, as a Villa fan, you get to watch him week in, week out. I need Dan Potts to hear this for himself. But the way these Arsenal fans shake their bum violently for Basmati Rice, please tell him about Douglas Luiz.
And the Spurs fans don't for Bissouma, did you know? Okay.
Hey, well, we'll get into that.
Yeah, look, Declan Rice is a fantastic footballer, but what Douglas Luiz has done for Villa is next level, and I don't think there's many players out there that could have done that for Villa. The way that he is on the ball, you don't really notice it until he's not there. And those games against Alkmaar that he came on in and just completely changed the game. Beautiful ball over to Watkins, and all of a sudden it's 2-1. We go on to win the game. And he's just a phenomenal footballer. It's hard for me to kind of put into words how good of a footballer he is. You just have to watch him week in, week out, and just watch him as well at times.
But Billy, if you had an option between Rice or Luiz, who would you have in your team?
Billy, you don't.
That's what fans need to hear. These men need to hear it. Rice or Luiz, who you have in
I need to caveat this because they're two different players as well. Declan Rice is a proper number 6. Declan Rice is a proper number 6. Douglas Luiz gets forward a little bit more. He's more of a number 8. So in terms of Villa, if I'm doing a swap, I'm sticking with Douglas Luiz because we've already got Boubacar Kamara. If it was Kamara for Declan Rice, then it's a different story, and I'm having Declan Rice probably.
That's what I wanted to get on. I wanted to actually get onto that point. I feel like Gerrard was almost holding Douglas Luiz back because I've always rated him. It's like now Emery's coming, he's giving him more freedom to express himself, and now you're seeing him for the baller that he is. I think he's a top player, man. I would have him at us in a heartbeat.
Yeah, he's a quality player.
I mean, playing alongside Declan Rice in January. Who knows? If the rumours are true, you know what I'm saying? It might be that we have both of them. So we'll see how much it's going to cost, mind you. But
exactly, that's the thing, Potts. If you're willing to put another, the thing is, we hold all the cards. You've just seen Declan Rice go for 105 million, Caicedo go for 120 million, whatever it was. We've got to be demanding that at least for Douglas Luiz for the importance that he holds to Aston Villa anyway.
How old is he?
So. 26, I want to say.
Yeah, see, that's why he might not be as big because obviously 21 Caicedo, 24 Declan Rice just turned, and they've proven it at top level.
I don't know. He might be 25. He's 25, 26 around there. But yeah,
Billy, those two players in Douglas Luiz and Diaby, I think you can get a big sum for if they carry
100%. Yeah,
they're on. They're your two that you can recoup a lot of money for. They're the two
absolutely. And we got Douglas Luiz for 15 million as well. It's not a lot of money.
I think he's a top talent, and
15, I wanted 1-5, yeah.
I wanted Diaby as well, by the way. I wanted him instead of Kyle, but that's That's another one. Babs, let me
you know-
bring you in, bro, because Babs, you're listening to this, shaking your head. You're hearing Declan Rice, Douglas Luiz, Declan Rice money. Come on, man, talk to me.
Yeah, I think we need to respect Declan Rice a little bit more than this. Douglas Luiz is a very good midfielder with very good form, but Rice has been doing it for the last 2-3 years. He's helped West Ham win a trophy. Like, he's got proven records. He's playing for England week in, week out. He could, captain them in the future. And also, I think he's got more credit in the bank. Luiz has had, I'd say, 1.5 good seasons. And we're hearing the same conversations. We need to calm down a little bit. I respect him massively as a player, and as Dan said there, they might be in the same midfield soon enough, so we'll see how they work together. But they are different profiles, so it's a bit of a weird comparison. But in terms of, like, if you're telling me as a Villa fan you wouldn't take Declan Rice to swap for Douglas Luiz, I think that's, I don't know. But I'm not sure about that, because Rice is that much.
The caveat though, because like you say, they're different profiles. I'm thinking of how we would play with Unai Emery's system still, and Douglas Luiz complements that so much more alongside Abubakar Kamara than Declan Rice would alongside Abubakar.
Billy, who's a better footballer, Declan Rice or Douglas Luiz?
Now you've put me on the spot.
Come on, Billy, you know the answer.
Look,
You know the answer.
Yeah,
Which one went for £100 million?
I can't say it.
Villa fans are on cloud
Which one would go
nine
for
right now.
120 million pounds?
You think Luiz is worth 120 million pounds?
He is to Villa.
Oh, wow. What I will say, listen, there's only one midfielder I had swap in the league for Rice, and that's Rodri. That's literally about it.
I would
There's
agree.
nobody else I look at the
You
league.
take Basuma.
Who? Basuma? I mean, he'd be on the bench, so he'd be good depth for us.
Babs, what about Endo? We've got a nice 6 at our club.
Endo or Enzo? Who do you mean?
No, Endo. Oh,
Hendo's in Saudi Arabia, mate.
Endo.
Oh, okay, Endo. Yeah. Mate, I think he's all right as well. Nah, but listen, I think Rice is severely underrated, but I also realise that he needs to win something massive for fans to really rate him. So I reckon that when Arsenal win a title, people will be like, oh no, this guy's the guy. He's been a part of that. But with people like Basuma and Luiz, like let more Basuma than Luiz than anything. It'll be like one of those comparisons a couple of years ago. It was Kulusevski versus Saka, and they're the same player. Remember that? And then now no one compares them.
That
So
was mad, wasn't it? That was
yeah,
mad.
I'm just saying. Look, Spurs fans, I appreciate that you got a good player there. But just we've seen this before. We've seen them compared before. Romero to Saliba. It was they're neck and neck. And look at them now. Kulusevski to Saka, and they're the best. Nah, and now you got Basuma and Rice. I wonder how that's gonna go.
Well, we'll see, man. We'll see. It's good. Listen, I think Basuma's quality, and I think Basuma's been class. But Rice, I think he's next level, man. I've been so impressed. Babs, let me stay with you on this game in Villa Spurs, man, and also touch on Spurs this season, because I was on a pod with Deji not too long ago, and he's like, "We beat Fulham, title race," and I'm like, "Just calm, bro." So I'll come back to Deji in a minute on that comment. But go on, Babs, talk to you.
We're only 2 points off top.
Yeah, I mean they're in the title race, aren't they? So if they don't win it, it's a bottle job, isn't it? That's how I'm going to see it. But look, jokes aside, I think Spurs are playing to expectations. They're a good first team, not a good squad. We know that, and I think in this game here, I've seen the Villa got quite a few injuries, but I think with Villa, is this at Villa Park, right? I'm pretty right in saying.
No, it's Spurs.
No,
It's a Spurs. I don't know, man. I think did you guys beat them there last year? Was it a couple of years ago when Watkins scored the 2-1?
Yeah, so I think we beat them last year. Yeah, we beat them last season and the season before as well, I think.
It just feels like Villa are a team that will create chances. They're a very good chance creation team, and they're gonna, cause trouble going forward. And Spurs' defense, who's gonna play there? So with that instability, I'm looking at and going, look, if Villa make chances and score some goals, Spurs are going to have threat, and you're going to have your style of play. But with your high line, which you're going to definitely play, and Villa's pacing behind with Diaby and Watkins, etc., it could be a very, very tasty game. I'm thinking, I would love to see a Villa win, but I think a more realistic result was a draw. If Spurs were to lose 3 games in a row, that would be a bit mad. I mean, a bit explainable, but still, at home, they should be expected to at least get a draw. So I find a sensible result would be a 2-2 or a 1-1. But if Spurs can go 3 games without a win, their title charges, it's looking a bit sideways, isn't it?
I'll tell you what, the two high lines in this game will be interesting.
Yeah,
the 2 highlights will be good to watch.
The amount of one-on-ones we're going to see, for me, is going to be crazy.
Ollie Watkins, man. Ollie Watkins in my fantasy team. I've got faith.
I got Diaby.
The thing is,
don't captain them, please. Don't captain them.
It's Spurs in the title race. The truth of the matter is, Villa's in the title race. Do you get what I'm saying? They're only 3 points off top. I've been calling Aston Villa and Newcastle since the beginning of last season, and true to word, these men are starting to show form. Aston Villa is a team to be feared. Newcastle United is a team to be feared. Now for Tottenham, we are in a title race, but I just think the injuries. If we had a bit more depth, everyone told me, Dej, you need another centre back. You need a replacement for Madders, and I was like, yeah, I know, but if we can keep it going and keep these guys fit, we'll be all right. The truth of the matter is, we've got the injuries now, and the dip is just far too much. I wouldn't mind, but Ben Davies and Eric Dyer on a high line against Ollie Watkins and Diaby is like Usain Bolt against me. There's only one way. You know what I mean? It's a one-way ticket. So for me, I've got Spurs to lose 3-0. To be honest with you, I can't see us scoring because that high.
No, I'm not having that. Deji, you got at me for not being confident.
Yeah, no.
Listen. No, Dej. You can say you lose, but you've gone 3-0. 3-0.
Let me tell you why, bro. Eric Dyer and Ben Davies are so dusty that I give my team no chance in hell, bro. There is no chance. I watched the Wolves game, and Wolves slapped us up from the first minute to the end. Aston Villa is better than Wolves. And the team they're about to pull out on Sunday is probably, arguably, their strongest side. So you've got every chance of beating City. You're not suffering the injuries like
Dej. You can put out a decent club. Listen, I've streamed with you for a long time. This isn't you on stream right now. This is a clone. Because look, you could say you're gonna lose. But don't you still have faith in Kulusevski, Son, and I rate Brennan Johnson. I think Brennan Johnson's actually quite an unsung hero, right? Don't you think you can even get a consolation or maybe two? Because you're still at home. As much as I agree with you, your back line is dusty. And that core, that kind of triangle core of Basuma, Romero, and Van der Ven being out, I think that's going to be detrimental to you lot. But don't you still think you can get a goal or two? I even give my team goals.
You know what it is? They're so dusty, Eric Dyer and Ben Davies, that the team becomes risk adverse. When your the core center, there's a big hole, like a gap in your teeth. You cannot feel confident to move forward. We saw it against Wolves. In the Wolves game, the Tottenham midfield, they just couldn't, because they knew if they step up too high, they're going to be fully exposed like the Red Sea. If we do that against Villa, we are dead. There is nothing. Tottenham cannot score because we're too fearful of Ben Davies. Look, it is so bad. I disagree with
you, bro. I feel you lose, but that one transition, I think you will get at least a consolation. To say you won't score at all at home, that's crazy, Dej. That is crazy, bro.
Bro, did you not? We had one chance against Wolves. One shot, one decent opportunity on goal.
Be at home. It's home stages. Everything at home.
Let me tell you, if we had our full team, I'd be looking Billy in his eyeballs and telling him, "Give me your address, because I'm gonna have to send you some flowers." Yeah, because mans are gonna put 5, 6, 7 past your club. Those were the kind of chests that I'd have been coming with. But with these two, look, we've got no Madders, no Van der Ven, no Basuma, possibly no Pape Sarr. Nah, come on, bro. It's over. No Romero. Nah. It's long. No Richarlison. Nah, it's long.
Don't say Richarlison like that.
Let me tell you what Tottenham need to do. All Tottenham need to do, we are holding on for dear life right now. We're holding on tight and we're closing our eyes.
Deji, don't you remember what I said to you? Don't you remember what I said to you when you said you're in a title race? I said, no one's in a title race yet. And I said, your squad is not strong enough. And once you get a couple of injuries, you'll realize it. And now everyone's like, Tottenham are going to be sixth now. Yeah, there's no title race.
No, but Dan, you know what it is? When you were saying that, you were talking about 1 or 2 players missing. Do you get what I'm saying? Tottenham's got like 10, 11 players gone, bro. Imagine like who else has had their whole
this is part and parcel. You know, this is part and parcel of the game. Like, maybe not at this volume, but everyone injured. You have to include it in predictions and stuff.
Bro, could you imagine Liverpool playing City without your back four? A complete new back four this weekend that hasn't played all season.
You know what? I had that. Listen, I had that problem 3-4 years ago when we were signing Kabak and Davis, and rivals told me just to get on with it.
You can't get on with it, man. It's madness. if Aston Villa had a complete back four, Billy would be singing a different song. That's the truth. But the truth of the matter is, we've got no back line and we've got no midfield. It's long.
Same thing I was told years ago. Just get on with it, man. It's part of the game. There, just get on with it.
It's long. So
yeah. You're only, like, let's be real though. You're only missing. Is it 3 players from your first 11? Madison, Bissouma, Romero, and Van der Ven. 4. Who else is
you're evil for that one. It's a few more. It's about 5.
No, it's big. But what I'm saying is, you say there was 12. You said there's 12 men out, but only 3 or 4 of them get into your first team, right?
Van der Ven. Obviously, your doggy was out as well, but he's just come back.
He's back.
Nah, your doggy's back.
Yeah.
Pape Sarr is not available either, my brother. So, bro, that's 5. half the squad. Half in the Premier League. If you got
3, you are right. There's 5. You are right. No,
if you've got 5 players in the Prem out of your first 11, you can lose to Bournemouth.
Yeah. Well, listen, let's see what happens, man. Tottenham could surprise. I happen to think Villa will win, but I don't think it'll be a spanking. I really don't. I don't think it'll be a spanking. I think Villa will beat you 2-1, but I don't think it'll be a hammering. And I do think Spurs will score because I think Villa's high line will definitely catch out as well. So I think it could be an interesting one. This could be a ridiculous game, by the way, like in terms of scoreline. Babs, talk to me about Spurs. Talk to me about their title race and the fact that this is no longer looking like a title race for some. And your thoughts on this game, Ma?
Well, what title race? That's the thing. That I mean, I've never really considered them in a title charge, so I'm not really surprised. I'm not going to sit here and go, oh my God, they've bottled it, when they weren't even in the conversation in the first place. It was just like, they were just knocking on the door, trying to get in, doors closed, get out of it, mate. Club's closed, get out, go home. That's what it was, right? But now, I think they've realised, which is fair enough. I'm not going to shout at them too much. The squad is thin, is what it is. But they got the mate in as a manager, good gaffer. And he plays good football, I guess. But in terms of this game here, I think Villa's pacing behind on the counter-attack, the high line. I think the thing with Emery is he's able to be more pragmatic than Ange. And in this game, it could favour him. Ange has got a style of play, will stick to it. Whereas Emery could go, listen, in this game, I know that Spurs will like to play him behind, so I might play a deeper line. Or I might play slightly differently. He's able to adapt. With Ange, I think he can adapt, but he don't choose to adapt. And we saw it in the game against Chelsea where, they were down to 9 men and he was still playing a high line on the halfway line. So I reckon because of Ange's, you could call it stubbornness, but, maybe it's his philosophy. I reckon this game sets up Villa for a potentially a win. Closer game than a 3-0, as Deji said. I'd probably say like a 2-1. But look, 3 defeats to Spurs in a row would be very, very nice.
Listen, I personally feel like it's going to be too much from. Go on, Roms.
One thing I would say about Villa, I do think Villa win this. I don't know if we're doing predictions yet, but I'm going a bit more comfortable than you, Potts. I'll say 3-1 Villa. But one thing I'll say is there is pressure on Villa because Billy, you'll probably admit your away form. I think some people are going a bit overboard. I wouldn't say it's poor, but it's not the greatest. It's a bit inconsistent. A few wins here, a few draws there, a few losses there. But I think the incentive is if you win, you're in the top 4 and you actually leapfrog Spurs. But that in itself can add a bit of pressure onto Villa, and it's something I don't think your players are used to just yet. And I feel this is the game you have to win because I think once you win this game, it's like cool. Now we can actually go to one of the big boys, if you want to call it, and get a result. But I do feel there's a pressure in itself to win due to away from this season.
I completely agree with you, mate, to be honest with you. It's funny because when Emery came in, our away form is what started to carry us through with the momentum. All of a sudden, that's completely flipped, and now it's our home form. We're unbeaten in however many games it is, or we've won however many games it is in a row. So yeah, we need to get that away form back on track. Obviously, we're not going to win every game. We're not going to win every game at home, but we need to level it out so we're not just winning at home, losing away, winning at home, losing away. So yeah, it's massively important, and I think the pressure and the incentives that come with it. Look, pressure's something that we need to be able to deal with at some point. It's you need if you want to be fighting for top 4, top 6, top 4, then you're going to have the media talking about you. You need to be able to deal with that pressure. You also need to be able to make the most of opportunities when they arise. So this is such a huge opportunity, like you say, to leapfrog Spurs, get into the top 4, and then we're there kind of thing. Exactly like you say. So yeah, we have to show that we can win games like this that have got so much on it, basically. And even more so with the amount of injuries that they've got. How are we going to go there, lose or draw, for example, and then expect to next season, if it's a similar situation and they've got a full squad, how are we going to be expected to go there and get anything if we can't do it when they've got a half depleted squad? So yeah, it's a massive game for us and such a huge opportunity as well, like I say.
Interesting, man. I'm going 2-1 Villa. Deji's gone 3-0 Villa. Rom's going 3-1 Villa. Billy and Babs, what are you saying?
I'm saying 2-1 Villa.
Yeah, 2-1, 3-1. I think we'll win. It just depends how we do it. I don't know. As long as we win, I don't care. I'll go 2-1.
I need Bailey to score, my Jamaican brother. I need Bailey to get a goal as well. Man.
I don't think he'll start, but his impact off the bench recently is fantastic. So yeah, hopefully he can continue that, and maybe he'll get that third goal.
You know, we just beat Canada to qualify for Copa America, so he has momentum going into that game. He had a good game, so yeah, man.
Hopefully, fingers crossed, man.
Yeah, I need Watkins and Diaby for my FPL, man. That's for sure. Listen, let's quickly go move to Arsenal. I'll get Deji's thoughts first because I know he's got to shoot. So, Dej, talk to me about Arsenal, man. Obviously, I know there's not love for us, but where are you at with us, and what's your thoughts of us going to Brentford away, bruv?
Yeah, you know what? I just think that a lot of the Arsenal fans, Babs included, you man are still riding off that juice, which was all or nothing. The way you guys are shaking your bum for your club. I'm still not quite convinced by Arsenal this season, you know. I'm really not convinced by them. You guys seem to be a lot more confident, and I don't know why. I was speaking to an Arsenal fan last night that admitted that the best team that you guys have played this season, barring the result, was Spurs. We're the only ones who actually outplayed you this season. If you're true football fans and you think back on all the games, including the City game, Spurs are the only ones who popped you this season. So before you say my club is not in the title race, just remember the game. But in terms of Arsenal, look, I think you're going to be up there challenging. You're all right, but you don't have that striker. For me, not having the striker was the big mistake. I was calling it from the summer. Jesus, Nketiah, they're not the ones at all. Saka ain't been himself this season. Let's just be real. Martinelli ain't been himself. The only person who's really been himself is Declan Rice. And how many goals is he going to get you? So for me, Brentford away is a dodgy game. Notoriously been a dodgy game for Arsenal. And if you get the win, great. You're expected to win that game. But if you fluff it, then again, it shows me that there are kinks in the armor, just like there's kinks in Man City's armor. But, you know, I think, obviously, this is the greatest season we're going to have so far. Arsenal are going to be in and around it. But do Arsenal have what it takes to win the league? I don't think so. I think you're there, and you're there to, you know, it's almost like a drama. We need a villain, you know, like in The Lion King, we needed the uncle to do what he did to Simba's dad. That's what you man there, yeah. You're there in it. You know, the protagonist. We need a protagonist in this story, which is Arsenal. But are you going to do anything about it? Are you going to win a trophy? No.
Babs, what are you saying before Deji goes? What are you saying, bruv?
Listen, the whole outplaying Arsenal at the Emirates was weird because, I mean, if it wasn't for the fact that we gave you a goal, I don't think you would have even come out of there with a point.
You did give us a goal. You
know, Jorginho literally gave you a goal, if I'm right in saying. You know, apart from that, I don't remember. He had a few chances.
Who had more ball possession, though, Babs?
What do you mean ball possession? I'm pretty sure that was Arsenal as well.
Who had more chances on goal?
Again, I think we had more chances on goal as well. So I don't know about that. But yeah, look, I can see why, you know, I don't think Spurs fans would like to admit Arsenal have been playing well or good, like, but you know, there's always a negative side of it. So obviously you're going to see it as oh, well, they're going to fall off or they can't do it. That's fair enough. That's how I expect from Spurs fans. You know, rivals. I get how it goes. But in terms of what we've seen this season, we've seen a solid defense. We've seen control in terms of off the ball, and all we need is just a few more attackers to find some form, and I think we've got quite a complete team. But right now, it's about defence first, and I realised last year, look at the games where Arsenal lost the title. West Ham, Liverpool, Southampton. We scored goals, scored 2-3 goals per game, but conceded too many goals. So this year it's the opposite. We're not trying to concede goals, and that's why in the games against Man City we won by a fine margin. So yeah, listen, I get it. You know, Deji, you don't want to see Arsenal do well. That's fair. You're a hater. I get it.
It's not
But
even that. I actually want to see the best teams do well, and I want to see the best players play. But I do think one thing though. Forgive me, Babs, for cutting you. I think part of the reason why you man won't make it is because your manager is a madman and he thinks too highly of himself. Why do I say that? Because your manager is a bit, you know, when you do too much of something, it can also be a negative. Your manager is too creative, i.e. Partey right back, and the fact that he thinks he can play Kai Havertz. The fact that he's dropped Ramsdale. When you're making stupid decisions like that, decisions that us lay people in our yard who ain't watching them on the training pitch week in, week out can see with our eyeballs, that's why I know. And I just think Arteta's just got this crazy wrong decision in him time and time again, which will always let you down. Do you at least agree with that, Babs?
no, I don't.
Really?
I get it. Sometimes you can make a mistake, but I think us as fans thinking we know more than him as a manager is a bit mad, isn't it?
Do you agree
There's a
with
reason
Partey
behind
at
most
right
of his
back?
do Pardon?
You agree that Partey can play right back? And
He can play a right back. It doesn't mean it's his best position, but he can play a right back. It wasn't because everyone is fit and available. We want to play Partey right back. Certain players were missing for him to play in the area. That's like an emergency option.
I've got a question for you two. Don't you think there's a possibility that Arteta tinkers and plays Havertz left back this week?
No, but he won't play left back for Germany. I know he started it, where he played in the pitch.
I'm playing.
It's a bit different, but Mikel Arteta makes a lot of choices that work out for Arsenal. But when they work out, no one will talk about it. The few mistakes he'll make will be the ones everyone talks about. What about the fact that he signed all these players to make Arsenal title contenders in the first place? No one talks about that. The fact that he signed the right players, the right age profile to get us to this stage, no one talks about that. You know, the way he's developed Saka from left back to right winger, no one talks about that as well. So yeah, he makes a few mistakes here and there, but that's everyone. We've seen Pep go into a Champions League final and play no defensive midfielder. That's still Pep Guardiola for you.
Interesting thoughts, man. Interesting thoughts. I actually do think, and Babs knows my thoughts on Arteta and knows that me and him disagree on a few things in terms of the management, and I do have my worries and concerns still, and I'm not totally convinced that he can get us across the line. I agree with Deji. I think it's a mad decision to drop Gabriel for a few games, play Partey right back, force Kai Havertz into the side and sort the goalkeeping stuff out. Stick with Eddie Nketiah and Reece Nelson. They are my concerns, of course, but if it works and we win us the league, what do I know? I just go on what I see with my eyes and where I have my concerns. That's literally it. But listen, there's a lot of things I like about it so far this season. Go on, Rob. Sorry.
One thing I'll say about with Arteta though, I feel like this season is kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. Because I remember a lot of your fans wanted him to experiment, and when he was experimenting early in the season, when let's be honest, I'm not saying it's acceptable to, but it's not as detrimental. You'd rather him experiment in the earlier games than the latter games. But it's like when he was, it's like, oh, why is Gabriel not starting? Why is this player playing that position? And then when he's not, some Arsenal fans say, well, he needs to start trying new things. So I do have a bit of sympathy for him in that regard. It's like he can't win. But I feel like he's found his players now. I do feel like you are a midfielder short of getting over the line. Of course you're going to challenge. I think it's going to be us three all the way. But I do feel that's where you should potentially... I almost think that's even more important than a striker, because I kind of liken you lot to us, and listen to what I'm saying carefully, people in the comments. I do feel you don't need to buy an out-and-out striker to win the league. I feel like if Martinelli and Saka, and it's a big if, and this is probably where some Arsenal fans want certainties, but if they can replicate the previous season and they can get a lot of GNA, you don't really need that out-and-out nine that bags week in, week out. We kind of had it with Firmino, but we had a Salah and Mane that were more seasoned, more experienced, and they were consistently putting up them numbers. So I think if Saka and Martinelli can start putting up them numbers, I don't think you need that out-and-out bags, man. What I do think you need is that 8. I think that's your most important acquisition you need instead of a striker. But that's just my thoughts on it.
Yeah, man, it's interesting. Listen, I'm going to let Deji go because I know he's got to shoot and walk fish this off as a fourth from the last couple of minutes.
And big up everyone. Love you. Thank you very much, guys.
Big up, bro.
I love for coming on, bro. Absolute legend. Make sure you go follow Deji, man. Deji Spurs. And yeah, big up, man, for coming on. Top man. Take care, bro. Right, let's finish this off, man. Bavs, Douglas Luiz and Ivan Toney in January is what everybody wants. What do we actually realistically see happening, bro, if anything, for Arsenal to try and get close to this title?
I don't think we signed Tony. I think the rumours have kind of died down as well. I think that was more like his side wanting to come to Arsenal, less Arsenal wanting the player. I think if we're going to sign someone, it'll be a midfielder, and he'll be someone like Douglas Luiz. But I don't expect Villa to sell him. So I reckon what will be is your pursuit of Luiz. We'll make a few offers. They'll probably get rejected, and right towards the end of the window, there'll be like a loan signing. I don't know, Ruben Neves or someone like that, short term to the end of the season. That's what I think is realistic, and maybe even a defender to play behind Saliba, because we don't really have much backup on that side either.
Yeah, for me, I still think we're a few players short. I think Diamande over at Sporting Lisbon is linked. 19-year-old centre-half, right-sided centre-half, looks very, very decent as well, would cover for Saliba. Obviously, we've spoken about an 8 and a 6. I think there's still some work to be done there. I still feel we need like a Pedro Neto type that can come in if Saka's not about. And I still would love Ivan Toney. So I do think there's a few positions there that Arsenal look to have a huge drop-off to. Where's your head at for this one, Babs, this weekend? Brentford away. What are you going with, mate?
For the players that we've got back, Odegaard's back. Jesus should be starting as well potentially. You got Trossard maybe instead. We've got enough quality, and I think Brentford are a team that are a bit hit and miss form, but they are, I think, unbeaten in 14 London derbies, which is I think the last time they lost was against Arsenal, if I'm right in saying, last year. So they're a difficult team. So I'm not going to take it lightheartedly, but I will say Arsenal should win and will win. I'm going to go Arsenal 2, Brentford 0.
Fair play, man. I'm with you. I'm going Arsenal 2, Brentford 0 as well. Roms, what are you saying for this one?
I'm going Arsenal 2, Brentford 1. I think they take the lead. I think you don't have a banana sit quite early, then you'll just have too much for them growing the game. And it'll be one of them championship wins where it's quite uncomfortable, but you get over the line. You just need to get the 3 points and get out of there. Quickly, a question for you two, though. This is shameless because it's for FPL reason. But I've got Jesus and Trossard. Not what you two think. Who do you think Arteta will start? Because Jesus played, I believe, 90 minutes against Argentina. And then Trossard played very well, I think, in their 5-0 win. And he even scored. So both of them have played a lot of minutes during the international break. They're both seemingly in decent, not decent form. Trossard's in decent form. But Jesus is your go-to number 9. Who do you think Arteta will start? Because I actually need to know his opinion.
I would play Trossard and I'd bring Jesus on. But I think Arteta will start Jesus because he's his guy. I don't know what you think, Babs.
Yeah, I reckon Jesus as well, because Trossard actually didn't play in Belgium's last international with injury, I think. So
really?
Didn't he play in the 5-0 win?
He played in the 5-0, but that was the one before. And then he missed the game after that.
Okay.
So
Fair.
I reckon he'll go Jesus.
Billy, who would you play if you're Arteta right now? Jesus just come back from injuries, just come back from Brazil. Trossard, likewise, we've seen internationally. But the last time Trossard played, Arsenal were brilliant, and we obviously battered teams. So, where are you going with this one?
If it was my choice, I mean, it depends on Trossard's injury, obviously. But if it was my choice and he wasn't injured, then I'd probably decide to go with Trossard just to give Jesus a little bit more time to come back properly. Give him 30, 40 minutes off the bench or something, and then maybe next week starting from the front. But yeah, it's I mean, what a headache to have. It's not a bad one, is it? Really, if we're being honest, it's not a bad headache to have.
So
no, that's true.
For you, it's a bit different, Roms.
You got Watkins, and then you're a bit stuffed after that, I suppose. So, yeah, Cameron Archie, you need him back. What are you doing for your prediction, bro, for this game?
I'm going to go with Roms as well, to be honest with you. I think you will just win it, but I think Brentford are going to make it tough for you. It's a tough place to go anyway at the best of times. It's a night game as well. Yeah, it's going to be a tough game, but I think you will just manage to get over the line. So I'll say 2-1.
Fair play, man. Listen, the question to close is an interesting one, which I'm literally going to go around very quickly each. Anyone see Everton and Man United, this game being tasty? I can see Everton get something, man. I can't even lie. This news has pissed them off. And I think Everton are going to come out fighting. I think Everton might take a point off of United. What are you saying, Robs?
I was telling you backstage, I think Everton win this game. Just like you said, they're annoyed. I think this in itself, Gav, we've seen a lot of things in season. When it's that us against the world mentality, you saw it City, when City's charges got announced, I think that was the catalyst. Nothing to do with anything on the pitch. I think that was the catalyst that spurred them on to win the trophy. That was annoying for them. Even the only team recently that's had charges or whatnot, or external things that haven't affected them in a good way is Chelsea. Once the owners came in, they just carried on going to shits. But I do think this is going to galvanise them. They're annoyed. And even in general, Goodison's just not an easy ground to go to. Yourself, I think you lot got your first win there in a long time. We normally draw there. We win there here and there. City have had bogey results there. United have to. It's just not a good ground to go to anyway. They always take points off the big boys. But I think they win this game. I don't think that it will be comfortable or anything. I think it will be marginal. But I do think Everton win this game. And I think if United get something from this game, it will be a set piece, or I don't even want to say moment of brilliance associated
with a penalty or something.
Yeah, I don't want to say a moment of brilliance associated with Bruno or McTominay, but I think it'll be one of them two to maybe conjure up something. But I don't trust anyone in their front line to score because I think they've still only got one. That is crazy. Just think what I'm about to say. In 12 Premier League game, the attackers have one goal between them. It's crazy, but I think Everton nick it. I think they nick it, and I think the team talk speaks for itself. That's literally just going to say, look, the Prem's against us, everyone's against us. We need to go for it. So I think Everton nick it, and I would love that because I don't hate no one more than I hate United. So
fair play, man. I think it'll be a draw. I'm going 1-1. Billy, what are you saying for this one?
I can see it both ways, to be honest with you. It just depends how Everton kind of react to it. And I do think, to be honest with you, they'll react in an anger kind of way. I think Goodison Park's going to be banging for it. They're going to be well up for it. It just depends how that kind of goes on to the players and whether they'll take that with them and go for it, if you know what I mean. I think it will. We played them, I think it might have been last season, and the ref was giving decisions all over the place, and the players reacted to the fans. So I think it will be something a little bit similar. And yeah, as a score prediction, I don't want to say because it can go either way, but I can see Everton coming away with 3 points from this game. I really can. I'll go 1-0. 1-0. Tarkowski, 89th minute header.
Man, that was where it was against us last season. Don't remind me. Babs, what are you saying, bro?
I think what Everton needs is a statement victory. And, I'm not saying it'll be like a 3-0, but you never know in games like this, man, if they're fired up. I think they've actually won 3 of the last 4 and are unbeaten, and the last defeat was against Liverpool. And even before that, they won. So they're in very good form, and they're going to be extra fired up. United, we don't know what's going to happen in there. I think they've had problems now with Varane as well. So I don't know if he's going to start there. I'm actually going to go big and bold here. I'm going to say Everton 3-0.
Wow. Imagine. Just imagine. That would be crazy, man. Listen, people, there's been 300 people of you here and we've not even hit 100 likes. That's crazy. Come on, people. Let's make sure you smash the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you go to all of these guys because we're going to close now. Roms, how can people follow you, bro?
That's my handle, Instagram, Twitter. You'll see me on. I don't have my own personal channel, but you'll see me on Never a Foul. You'll see me on Big Six Bants, my brother Monster's channel. But they're the main 2 places you'll see me. Terrence here and there as well. But they're the places you'll find me, man. But thanks for having me, Potts. It was a wicked day for myself.
Love, man. Love for coming on, and you'll be on anytime, man. You know you're always welcome. So come on, Billy. Likewise, man. What you got coming up? How can people follow you?
At AV Billy on Twitter mainly, and Instagram as well. If you wanna follow me on there, don't publish it's more personal stuff on there. But if you want to, you're more than welcome to. Total Screamers as well. There's not really a lot of content being pushed out at the minute. We're all leading very busy lives. So, but yeah, Twitter's the main one for me at least, and I'm obviously on here as well. Most Mondays for the Race for Europe show.
Wicked, man. Make sure you go follow Billy. Babs, likewise, man. You know it. Plug it, man. What you got coming up?
Yeah, Babs 14 on the YouTube, on the YT. I just don't follow me on Twitter. That's what you shouldn't do. But yeah,
the way you rattle fan bases is, I've got to give it to you. It's elite. The way you rattle them.
It is elite, man. It is elite. I've got to say.
Yeah, so avoid the Twitter, YouTube. That's the place.
I love that, man. Love that. Make sure you go follow Babs on YouTube. People, make sure you do us a favor. Smash a like on the way out. Make sure you get us up to the right amount of likes, people. Come on. We're here at 100 already now, so well played, people. Keep doing that. Smash a like. Subscribe to the channel. Our next target is 13K, so let's make sure that we can get there. and we will see you next time. Up the Arsenal. And if you do like a bet, check out in the description Bread and Honey Bets. Make sure you go and see what they're up to this weekend, because they're winning lots of money for people, man. So Bread and Honey Bets in the description. Go see what they're doing. Look at the Patreon and get on it. Take it easy, people. We're out of here. Peace.